Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of STW. I would like to welcome you to our channel. If this is the first time you're tuning in, thank you for coming. Last time we covered reversals and full penetration, so God only knows what we're going to cover tonight. I'm Allora, and I am joined by my lovely soul siblings, Avalon Cameron over in the left corner.
Hi, people.
She is uber sick but super excited. And of course, my terror bro, Chase, two AVALON'S.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
And as always, we are going to start the show out with some tarot news, some new releases and things like that. So I'm going to let Avalon start it off, and then we'll go from there. Avalon?
Okie dokie. Just thought that I would type out there in the little chat that I am medicated. So chances are I'm going to be foolish. I'm going to say some stupid things, and just brace yourself for whatever is to come. I can't be held responsible. I'm under the influence of medication. And so let's get to our news. I've got some news. I've written it all down here in my, for those of you who love stationery, this is a kickass. Isn't it pretty? It's very pretty. Yeah, okay. So moving on. This one I'm excited about. The Hardy Tarot Borderless Edition is now up for pre-sale, for pre-order, you know the stuff, on Etsy. So the Hardy Tarot, if you guys want to have a look at the images of the Hardy Tarot, you'll be like, oh, still my beating heart. It literally is one that I shared on my personal Facebook page the other day because I was like, damn. Then also up for pre-sale, pre-order on Etsy is the Vagabond Tarot, and it's really sweet. It's got a feminine edge, whimsical-ish kind of artwork, which I really dig. And it's up there for anyone who likes a little bit of color, a little bit of like feminine mystique, a little bit of just pretty, and you know, that's the Vagabond Tarot. Then third edition of Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot, also up for pre-order on Etsy. So for all of you who like Dame Darcy, I have her first edition and her second edition. So why the fuck won't I get her third? Let's just say, you know, I'm just going to. The Stretch Tarot is due for reprint. So if you, like me, have been looking at people talk, hearing people talk about the Stretch Tarot and going, oh, Stretch Tarot, and then getting there and it's like, oh, it's all sold out. They are doing a reprint. It's not happening fast enough for my liking, but if you're a patient person, then you might be able to hang in there. Love Your Inner Goddess. I believe that's an Alana Fairchild deck. It's a Blue Angel deck that's coming out this month, so look out for it anytime during September. The artwork is, again, very pretty. She has done a bit of work with Rivoli and in some of her, you know, previous expressions of oracle creation, and I wasn't a fan. I was not a fan. But this one I can get behind. This one I'm down with. Also, Earth, Air, Fire, Water, a 40-day healing meditative journey by Stacey DeMarco is taking place. That's a Blue Angel one as well. It's not an oracle deck. It's not a tarot deck, but for those of you who want a little bit of healing, who want to kickstart something that's a little bit more balanced and elemental, that's one for you. And that is my news.
She didn't just have news, folks. She brought a fucking list. As usual. All right, so next, two AVALON'S. He's got some big news, so pay attention because he needs your help.
All right, you guys, I do have some big news. So I have been given the responsibility from Arwen Lynch. Well, first let's talk about Arwen Lynch. So Arwen Lynch took over she's now editor-in-chief, is that the proper title? Editor-in-chief of the Cartomancer, quarterly Cartomancer magazine. Obviously, it's called the Cartomancer. So she has given me the responsibility of taking on a section of the Cartomancer, and we are putting together a all-male, masculine, divine perspective on the Cartomancer, or on Cartomancy, rather. And so what we are looking for is me and 4 other tarot bros to get together, and we're going to write out like an article or a section of the magazine that is kind of like a round, if you will. We present a topic, and then we are all going to write on it and speak on it if you will. I know there's not a lot of us tarot bros, but what we're looking for is somebody who is a professional cartomancer in any respect whatsoever, but have a little bit of sorry. Oh, we had a moment. Sorry. Okay. So I'm looking for 4 other male professional tarot readers that we can provide a masculine perspective on cartomancy. So if you are, or if you know of anyone who, oh, Jesus. Oh, I'll get through this eventually. So what? So what we're looking for is me and 4 other tarot bros to take on the masculine perspective of cartomancy. So again, if you are one, or if you know of anyone, please apply to my email address, 2ofowls@gmail.com, and I would love to sort of get this set up in sort of a hurry so that we have this ready to go, so I can turn around to Arwen and be like, okay, we're ready, give us our first assignment or whatever. So I'm looking at having this put together by the end of this week, and I'll be putting some things out on IG as well. And so I look forward to hearing from you guys. And again, I know there's not a lot of us, so everybody that's in here right now that is not a male, please spread this around. Please get this out to everybody, to our communities, so that we can get this done. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, I wanted to give a reminder of the Santa Muerte Tarot that is coming out in October. It is actually coming out in a month and 4 days. And I'm giving you a reminder because there are 2 versions. There's a limited numbered edition, and then there's like the regular edition. The numbered edition, I literally got like the last one. So the limited edition is sold out. So all that is left is the regular print. And so if you're wanting a copy, then you're running out of time. So go out and purchase that. And that is what I have. On to you, Alara.
Okay. It's your turn, Alara. Why don't you talk there, sexy face?
Oh, I'm going to. Okay, first of all, the reason why I lost my shit and I was like crying, laughing, is because I hear Chase and he's being so serious and talking about masculine divine, and then I see Wild Moon Woman in all caps. Fuck yes, masculine divine. I'm like, whoa, that shit was a lot. So that's why I was crying, laughing, just in case anybody was wondering. Anyways, okay, so for my news, I actually have some STW news. So everybody voted for the awards. Yay! And they're going to be in 2 weeks, the 18th. We're going to have Lisa from Tarot Alchemist, Nico from Scarlet Moon, and Jesse Huntenberg from Jesse Huntenberg Tarot joining us to give away the awards. We're really stoked. And we have some awesome sponsors and some awesome prizes lined up. But in total, we ended up having 227 ballots cast, which adds up to over 4,000 individual votes that we get to manually count. That's why we had to wrap it up early. That's a lot. So that was awesome. And you'll be hearing about that live in 2 weeks when we give them away. Let's talk about the STW community deck for a second. So we asked for submissions for anybody that wants to donate art and cards to the deck, and those close on the 9th of September. So if you've been thinking about it and you haven't submitted or anything like that, go ahead and do that as quick as you can, because it's the 9th is the end of this week. Yeah, Saturday, I think. And after that, we won't be accepting any more submissions for the deck. There will be a live chat.
Can I just say something on that too? Try not to, just remember this, don't email me personally. Don't email Avalon's Apothecary at Gmail, because I have hundreds of email come through every day. If it's not specifically related to something that I've got going on professionally in my business, then it's going to go miss, because I've got things set up in my email account to flag, and everything else I ignore. So make sure you email Spread This Witches direct. Go through their website or go directly to their Gmail account, spreadthiswitches@gmail.com. Not hard to remember. Spreadthiswitches@gmail.com. There you go.
Yeah, for sure. And I also find it hilarious that when people are making submissions now, they're addressing them directly to me. I'm like, yeah, we know who the paperwork bitch is up in here. We get it. But anyway, okay, so we covered the awards, the deck, and now for some awesome tarot release news. So Blue Angel is also putting out another deck coming in November. It's called the Shamanic Medicine Oracle. And it's by, and I'm not even going to attempt to say these people's full names because I will get it wrong. So I have shortened it to first and last name. It is authored by Barbara Free and Flavia Peters, and the artist is Yuri Licht, Leicht. But they're beautiful cards, like amazed. If you're drawn to any type of Native American spirituality or path or shamanism, take a look at that deck. It's coming out November. I believe it's November 1st. I might be wrong, but it's November for sure of this year. So, and then the last bit of news I have, because all of you have been talking about it so lovingly in the chat, is my hair. So, yes, I changed my hair. If anybody cares, the actual color on the top, that's like my birth, what I was born with. And then the blue, of course, I just put in. But Avalon says that this is my hair and I'm not allowed to change it. So, anyway.
And I'm the boss, so.
Yeah, she's the big sister and we have to do what she says or she beats us. Just saying. So tonight's topic is kind of all over the place. So Avalon and I and Chase were talking. We did have somebody lined up to come on, but he had to back out because he's actually a musician who divines through music, and he got some extra studio time, so he wasn't able to make it. But after that, we talked about tarot superstitions and things that are myth versus reality when it comes to things like cleansing and consecrating and deck bonding and those types of exercises. So I guess, what would you say is a good place to start? Deck bonding? Consecrating? Pick one. Either of you.
Consecration station.
I want to start with superstitions. I want to do superstitions.
Oh, fine. Superstitions.
You love it. You love it.
So she needs to clarify for me what she means by superstitions, because I know of superstitions where deck bonding is concerned. Like superstitions to me, because there are certain people that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, then it will lead perfectly into deck bonding.
Yeah, well, and there's like when I was so when I first got into tarot as a kid and started reading, the superstition was you were not allowed to buy your own deck. It had to be gifted to you.
And there's people that still genuinely believe that to be true. Like, oh, I've actually met grown men and women that have said to me, I've never been gifted a tarot to use it, because that's one of probably the most common misconceptions. Now, just in case there is somebody out there who genuinely believes that to be true, I would just like to say with my heart and my soul that it's not. It's just not true. I have bought thousands of decks. These people buy thousands of decks, and by these people, I mean this man, this woman that I am with right now. The majority of people, I would say at least 99.9% of people watching this video right at this moment would have bought their own decks. It's not a thing that one should be concerned about anymore. It might have been a thing in yesteryear, but it's certainly not something that needs to concern anybody whatsoever. So if you're at this very moment in time feeling like you're being held back by this one superstition alone, then please, I give you full permission to go out there and buy the raddest deck that you can possibly find and shuffle it and immerse yourself in that process and just have a really fucking good time.
But let's clarify, you're not allowed to riffle shuffle. That's a no.
Yeah,
that's not a superstition.
That is not true. You can riffle shuffle the shit out of your deck if you want to. It breaks it in, it makes it pretty, and you should always riffle shuffle. Always.
He's high. He's high, folks.
Riffle.
Don't listen to him.
Hashtag riffle that. Hashtag riffle that.
Hashtag
What I will
Tarot
have to say- Wow.
And
Anyway,
started again tonight.
I can't even. I have to say though, like I have to tell you, I have only bought 2 decks that she thinks she's so funny. She just crack herself up. I've only ever bought 2 decks though. All of my decks, the majority of them have been gifted to me. So there was the only decks that I purchased myself are the Rider-Waite, and then the traditional Rider-Waite, and then the Ukiyo-e Tarot. Those are the only 2 that I've actually purchased. Everything else was gifted. She still think it's funny. She had to take off the glasses.
She's like out of her chair.
Oh, wow.
Woo!
Wow.
Huh. Okay.
I've had Cody. That's all I've got to say.
Okay. So tonight's theme is we cover sex and drugs.
Oh.
Your babies are in bed, and we posted this on the STW Facebook page. You guys wanted unfiltered, so here you go.
Unfiltered.
It's a thing. It's a thing. All right. At the superstitions, we've covered. I laughed for a fair bit there. Did you cover a whole other topic, or was it still the one topic?
No, we were talking about deck gifting versus buying, and I will say that my first deck was gifted to me. It was the one that my mother used, and then she gifted it to me. But after that first deck, I bought all the rest.
Yeah. I've got a good solid mix of gifted and non-gifted, and I can tell you with every certainty that gifted decks versus non-gifted, no one is better than the other. You know, I've bought beautiful tarot decks. The Druidcraft is one of my absolute favorite tarot decks. It's in my top 10. I bought that for myself, and I love it. And the Sun and Moon was a gift. I love it. The Journey to the Hidden Realm, I bought it. You know, the top 10 that I use have a mix of I've bought and been gifted. So I can honestly say that no one stands above the other in that regard. True story.
Hey, we have a question.
So what do you guys feel about, oh, sorry.
We have a question. Matthew Alvarez, what about the one where you can't let people touch your cards?
That's what I was going to talk about.
Ooh. Well, then you start. You can begin.
Who's running this tonight? Please.
All of us, because we're all equals in this tarot family.
Okay, he says this politically correct shit when we're live, but when we're not live, he's like, you've got it.
She always well, it's because she always asks before we ever start. She always asks, "Who's running it?" I'm like, "Well, you, because you asked." So it's just always.
No, that is the first time you guys have ever been like, "Who?"
No, I say it every week.
No,
because the last 2 times has been me, and it's
you're right. Right.
Yeah.
Just as long as it's not me. Just as long as it's. I always tell them I just want to be like that pretty face in the
Wile E. Coyote.
All right, I got you. I'm sorry, you're running the awards. Good job.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Good for you, Chase. Wow, way to step up and take charge.
You are more than welcome to leave it into my trusting hands.
Okay, so touching cards.
I have my clients always touch the cards. Like I will shuffle it, and then I will pass it off to them, and then they cut it. And then that's like the cards that are on top. That's what I read with. They always like all of my clients have. I like cards that have been touched by other people. When I buy decks, I don't buy very often. They're always gifted. But like to buy my own deck, like I try to find a used copy before I will try to find a new copy.
I'm gonna need you to mute.
I have people already applying for the Cartomancer. That's awesome. So. What was I saying? No, I got
You like it when people touch your stuff. That's what you're saying.
Like my decks, I want used decks, and I want like
people touch my deck.
I love it. I love them to be used and
Say it
worn.
really fast. Touch my deck. Touch my deck.
Touch my deck. Touch my deck.
It sounds naughty and fast forward. It sounds really naughty.
All right, Avalon, what about you?
Honestly, I'm a bit half and half. Now, I never let people shuffle my cards ever. No, it does. If I'm reading for a client, they look at me, especially if it's a first time thing and I'm in person. They're like, "Do I shuffle the cards?" And I'm like, "No, you don't. You don't touch them." And that's how it is, right? If somebody says, "Can I have a look through a deck?" then I say, yes, you can have a look through that deck. They're looking at it from a place of interest. If somebody touches my soul cards, I will chop their hands off. That's unforgivable.
Wow.
That is simply unforgivable. And I don't put my soul cards in a position where they would even be handled by somebody else. So I don't tempt people with it. And, it's not something that I would, my children even know not to touch that deck. It's just not a deck to touch. I'm getting a bit that way with my sun and moon. With my sun and moon, don't look at it sideways. Just don't look at it. So no, I don't like the energetic transference unless it's in a controlled environment, i.e. they have to be standing in this very space, in this very room. And for them to be doing that, I have to know them and have a good amount of trust in them to be standing in this very room amongst all of this paraphernalia that I have here. And then they can have a flick through, because I have a lot of, my coven sisters are very interested in tarot, and they'll say, "Can I have a little flick through?" I'm like, yeah, go. But I share ritual space with these women. I journey with these women. I have a very, close relationship with them, and they can touch the cards if they want to. But the average everyday person, no, don't touch my shit. That's mine. As Jen Bowen just said, don't touch my shit. That's mine. Mine. Did you see her in the stream?
Oh Lord, I don't know. I'm a lot more lax that way. I don't. So, if I know you, and I know you in a spiritual manner, or know you personally, trust you, all that, I don't care. When it comes to like professionally reading, yes, my clients touch my cards. Yes, they shuffle them. But I also, after they're done and finished and what have you, I always cleanse in between, and I reset the deck. Like you reset your phone. I do it every time. And that's just something that it's just a system. It's probably my Virgo too, because like it's all systematic. I tell them how to shuffle, what to do exactly, which hand to hand them to me with. I'm very specific. But there's a reason and a rhyme to it all. I mean, it's not just because I'm controlling like that. It's because like
a little bit.
Well, but for instance, when I say hand them to me with your left hand or cut them with your left hand, it's because your left hand or your non-dominant hand, usually it's your left, their left hand, if they're right-handed, vice versa. But usually it's the left hand. So if I say hand them to me with your left hand and it's their non-dominant hand, that hand is linked to their subconscious. And so they have moved the cards subconsciously with their non-dominant hand. That's the theory behind that. So there's a rhyme. All right, what are the superstitions we got? Can y'all think of any other ones? This was your category.
I can think of heaps. So I have two. I have two that I sort of work with, and they kind of combine, right? So in the context of jumping cards, right? We've all had the instance where we're shuffling a deck and cards come flying out. They're colloquially called jumping cards. I like to think of them as flying cards, but that's just me, because the way that they just, out of a pack, it's quite impressive, right? And you've got to think to yourself, wow, these in the middle of a shuffle, these just jumped out on the table. landed on the floor, landed on the chair, you know, wherever you are, doesn't matter. Now, that they are important cards. If, for me personally, if they land face up, in whichever order they've landed face up in, I use those to start off the reading. So I'll lay those out. They're the most important cards in that spread. If they fall face down, I pick them all up and I remove them from the deck entirely, and I continue to shuffle, and then I'll lay out the cards following that. If they fall face down, my belief is that they are not to be part of the story. They have chosen to remove themselves from that story for that moment, for that person, for that situation, and I honor that, so I move it. If they fall face up, that's alarming. You know, that's not alarming in a bad way, but that's like very obvious and enforces a sense of urgency to me. So they would be read first at the very start of the reading. So that's how I handle, you know, jumping or flying cards personally. And I know that everybody handles things differently. So how would you guys handle that?
Okay, I have a question for you though. So when you have cards fly out and you read them at the beginning of a reading, do you then put them back? Like, do you read them right then and then put them back in the deck and then lay out your whatever you're going to lay out, or do you just leave them out? I
just lay them out.
Gotcha.
Usually, it's like, let's say I've just picked up a tarot deck, and I'm talking away and I'm focusing on the question, and within seconds of me shuffling, cards come flying out. I will lay those cards out if they're upward facing. I'll lay those cards out, but I'm not finished shuffling yet, so I'll continue to shuffle until I'm done, and then I'll complete the layout for that card. So so I'm laying out 10 cards and 4 come flying out. I'll lay out those 4 cards and I'll continue to shuffle until I'm ready and lay out the remainder of those cards. I'll just honor it in that way.
Gotcha. All right, Chase, your turn.
You know, I've read a lot more jumping cards lately than I usually do, but I don't particularly read jumpers, because again, we covered this 2 weeks ago when we're talking about how I like my little soldiers all in a row and lined up and upright and all of those things. So jumpers to me are just, I don't know for sure if jumpers are cards that want to be read, or if they are just me shuffling like a madman. So I usually just take those jumpers and put them right back into the deck and just continue shuffling. Usually, not all the time though. Not all the time. Again, lately I've read some, but like in professional client readings, I will just usually put them back.
Wow. Well, I was kind of taught the same as you, Avalon. Like when there are cards that come out of the deck, it's like I don't know, a red flag or like, hey. But I will say that I also use my intuition, because sometimes I'll get cards that jump out and I'm like, no. Like, I mean, and I don't know why, but sometimes there are ones that jump out and I'm just like, that was just me. And I kind of think the more that you do it, like, at least for me anyways, the more that I read for people and the more that I shuffle and the more that I work with cards, the better able I am to say, okay, that's important, or that's me. Which is interesting, because that's kind of what Chase just touched on. Like, I'm reading these jumping cards, but I don't know if I'm just a bad shuffler or they're important. And I kind of think that, like, that's something that you just pick up as you go along, I think. And I think it more comes when you start reading the jumping cards. You're able to feel the gravity of their importance, I guess, if that's something that you're wondering.
That's true. I also like to put out here, because this happened to me not last week but the week before, during my day of client readings, where I was shuffling a deck and cards flew out, like a big chunk of them flew out, and they were all reversed. And I'm talking about, okay, so here's a tarot deck. I'm talking about this many cards, like just, and that's a weird amount, right? That's a lot of cards, or maybe not that, or maybe I'm exaggerating, but but a decent amount. Like, I'm talking, at least 10 cards flew out and they were all reversed. And so in that moment, that's an unusual circumstance to have all of those cards be reversed, for starters, and all facing upwards. So I took that as a sign that there was more to the story than met the eye. So I'm working with a client on a particular question, but there's obviously information that is missing there, and there's definitely something that needs to be unblocked and removed from the situation. So that cluster of cards just gave me a little inkling about how the undercurrent of the reading at the time, and so I took that as that message at that time. If that were to happen again, I don't know if I would feel the same way. You know, it's very circumstantial, it's very situational. And so I would have to take the context of the reading in that regard and the question and the situation entirely. But that is definitely one thing. So, if, you know, especially with reverse cards and huge amounts of it, the first thing that I think of is unblock. So for me personally at that time, I relit my Palo Santo and I started to smudge a little bit again, and I was focusing on trying to lift some of that energy that was clearly being blocked at that time. But whether or not that's something that I do in another reading with the same circumstance, I'm not sure. So I'll just sort of roll with it in sacred space and see how that goes. But I just thought I'd mention that because it's a little different.
Okay, all right. So pause on that for a second. Let's put a pin in that because I want to address what's going on in the chat right now because they are addressing bow and arrow, talking about the process of clearing decks and why you do it, and not really understanding the concept because she feels like she's breaking her relationship with the deck if she clears it of energy. And my thought on this is it's like going to a hospital and you have an open wound, and do you want clean bandages or do you want bandages that are already soaked in blood? Like, that's the way I look at it. So that's why I clear my decks, and it doesn't do anything to my relationship with those decks because I feel like I've bonded with my decks. We're on the same frequency, like vibrationally, and we understand one another. And the clearing part of it is just to wipe the client's energy off of it. And there are like a million ways to do that. I mean, you can do it through smoke cleanse, you can do it through sound cleanse, you can do it through, I mean, there's tons of ways. What about you guys?
I'm a huge deck cleanser. And I cleanse my decks for various reasons. As the energy of a season shifts, I'm in one sort of resonance in summer and in a different sort of resonance, you know, in autumn. Like my frequency, I feel like it shifts, my perceptions, my mental processes, everything sort of changes a little bit for me. So I've changed, I've shed a skin and I've changed. So I reset the energies of my decks in the same way because they're my primary tools. I work with them all the time. That doesn't mean that I go through and cleanse every single one of my decks because let's face it, we'd be here for years. But the ones that I'm working with at the time. So for me, what I have found to be the best system is that, you know, when the seasons change, I put away my autumn decks or my summer decks, and I'll reach for my, you know, my autumn decks, for instance, and I change my reading space in accordance, and I'm always smudging and I'm always resetting. I'm bringing them to life. I'm putting them to bed in a way. I'm wiping the emotion from them. If I'm reading in an emotional state of mind, if I've got a cough or a cold, if other people are touching them, if I take them to a place where the energy is out of my control, like when they're in my space, when they're in your hands, your space, your sacred temple, they're in your control. But when they're outside of that, they're no longer in your control. Like they can absorb anything, you know, they're magical tools. They can absorb anything. And so anointing them and cleansing them with smoke and cleansing them with sound and cleansing them with lunar energy and, you know, cleansing of all descriptions is so good to reaffirm the bond. If you treat something as sacred, it will always be sacred. And for me, the act of cleansing and consecrating a deck is a respect to the cards, to the magical tools that they are, and to the fact that I will be using them for magical purposes. And I take that very seriously. So I cleanse them as a ritual. I cleanse them and I consecrate them. I empower them. I put them under the moon. I smoke them. And because I do that, my bond with that deck deepens each and every time I do that, because I'm treating it magical every single time I touch them. you know. And I think that if you treat your tools, any tool, not just your tarot decks, your athames, your wands, your staves, your altar tiles, your chalices, your statuary, if you treat any of your magical ritual tools in that way, they will always hold that sense of profound sacredness to them. And that's mine. I'm very ritualistic, so I care about that shit. The next door neighbor might not. They might just be using tarot as a tool for something completely different and not looking at them like a ritual object, and therefore you could probably forego all of that. But as I use them for ritual purposes, for magical purposes within the construct of ritual, and treat them as sacred because this is a sacred space that I'm sitting in right now, then that takes, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Too, especially if I'm like in a shit place or a negative space and I'm using my cards, I will definitely, cleanse that off of them afterwards.
That's exactly right, because it's naive to think that you're going to be in one mood all year long for the rest of your life, right?
Right.
You're going to get pissed off at your partner. You're going to have a fight with your best friend. You're going to have a cold. You're going to wake up from a nightmare. You're going to be sick. You're going to have, some kind of up and down in your emotions. And each and every time you have those up and down in emotions, these paper cardboard things that used to belong to trees, which are, by the way, sacred, they're going to get that. They're going to get that. So something to think about.
What about
from
you,
an animistic perspective?
I'm just going to be the odd man out all night. I am very adamant on resetting my decks after every single reading. There has to be like a reset process. And Joe said earlier, in a very practical sense, it's kind of like wiping off the whiteboard after you teach a class. Before your next class comes in, before the next period starts, you don't want the same shit to be on the board, so you got to wipe it clean because you have to start over. So it's very much like that for me. But as far as cleansing, again, I'm all about, I want as much energy attached to my decks as humanly possible. Like I love my decks dirty. I love them rough. I just
my.
I don't cleanse them very often. I'm not saying that I never.
Dirty boy.
I'm not saying that I'm not ever saying that.
He's a dirty boy.
I'm not saying I never cleanse them, because I have cleansed my decks mainly in moon rituals and things like that. But I don't do it that often.
I think STW is proof that women are dirtier than men. Just saying.
Yep.
Yes.
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 We all agree.
Yes. Yes.
No matter what continent.
Yes.
We bitches be dirty.
Valid.
Just saying.
Okay, amethyst rose. Are clearing and cleansing the same thing?
No.
No.
Not.
No.
No. Clearing and cleansing are the same thing. To clear energy, to cleanse, to make clean, to make sacred. Well, no, it's just to clear away energy. Consecration is the act of making an object sacred. So by consecrating it, you are turning it from an everyday object to a sacred ritual tool. I
don't know, but I think amethyst, I don't know if you're thinking this, but you might be talking about cleansing and charging, because those two get confused a lot.
I think the key word for consecration is ritual. I think it involves, like, I consecrated my tarot book box when I bought it and I built it and put it all together. The first thing I did was I consecrated it so that whatever tarot deck I put in there would give honest, true, good readings.
Yeah. You made it special. You made it sacred.
Yeah.
You created a ritual specifically to do that, and that's consecration. Cleansing and clearing, the same thing. It's about removing energy. It's about imbuing a specific kind of energy, because depending on what you use to cleanse and clear your deck, those herbs come with particular attributes that you are then infusing. So you're removing what you don't want from that deck with that intention in mind. I remove all negative energy from this deck. For instance, That's just for instance. And then let's say you're using dragon's blood to do that. Then you're infusing magic and power into that deck. Or you're using sandalwood. You're infusing a deep sense of spirituality into that deck. You're using Palo Santo. You're making it sacred. You're using lemon balm, Melissa. You're making it a healing process. And so depending on what you use, then, you know, that will influence the then added energies of that deck. Charging the deck is to infuse it with power, infuse it with purpose, infuse it with intent, and to consecrate is to make holy.
And a lot of times, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but a lot of times I cleanse and charge at the same time. And one of the things that I wanted to remind everybody is when you're charging stuff, you need to pay attention to, so you need to pay attention to the moon phase that you're using, the sign that the moon is in, you know, when the eclipse came, what that means, the day of the week, where you have them, the direction in which you have them in your house counts. I mean, it's like all that stuff, all the little
layers.
Yeah, all those minute details that you don't necessarily think about right away. Kind of keep that in the back of your mind that you need to be looking into all that stuff, because it matters when you're charging a deck and cleansing a deck in a specific time and place and energy and all of that good stuff. That's my 2 cents.
Okay, so question with that too. So how caught up do you really have to be in all of the minute details in order to say, since we're talking about, let's keep it cleansing a deck, since that's what we're talking about. So do you find it any less effective if I were to just throw my deck outside underneath the moon, as opposed to, so in Red Earth practice, energy comes from the east. So say, as opposed to me just throwing it outside wherever underneath the moon, well, what if I mean, at the end of the day, does it really make a lot of difference for me to go outside, put it in a direction facing the east, to charge my deck underneath the moon, to put, you know, quartz on it? Like, how much of the detail really matters? I mean, at the end of the day. Genuine question.
Genuine question. It matters only if it matters to you.
Yeah, it matters to me.
Sure. Oh, it matters to me a ton.
Because, like, I mean, if you think about it, like okay, let's talk about directions. So in tarot, each of the suits is associated with a direction, yada, yada. Well, if you put your decks in a specific direction, so the last time that I really cleansed all of my decks, and there was a picture on Instagram of it, because I basically made a cake, like a diaper cake, one of those fake cakes out of decks, because it was like 3 deep. And anyway, so I piled them up, put them in a specific direction. The direction in my house in which they sat was west. And so west, water, cups, loving energy, emotion, all of that stuff. So, I mean, so yeah, that matters to me. I mean, I think it matters if it matters to the practitioner. I mean,
because I think there are so many, the only reason that I brought it up, I think to so many, I think especially new practitioners, they're like, oh my God, well, I have to put it in the east, and I have to put a quartz on it, and I have to have blessed water, and I just have to have all these things, and if not, it's going to be successful. No, I don't think that it can just, at the end of the day, it can just be you.
That's true.
You know, like every intention we set comes from us. So, you know, I think we can get lost in all the salt and all the.
Hold on, though.
It's so true. It's so true. I would even go as far as to say, sorry, Allora, you go.
I was going to say, but the only caveat to what you're saying, though, is, at least in my experience, is I have found the more energy you put in to doing that stuff, whether it's deck cleansing or spell work or ritual or meditation or whatever, the more you get out of it.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's so true. It's true. At the end of the day, let's say you're starting out with the cards, you know, don't feel overwhelmed by the amount of shoulds and coulds and ideas that are out there. What you do is you go out there to look for information. If the information resonates and you feel comfortable putting that information to good use, then you do so. The important thing to remember is no matter what it is that you do to create a sense of sacred with your deck, if you're doing it just because it's not going to do a damn thing. If you're doing it because you've heard about this, it resonates with you, you want to try it out and you want to be serious about how you do this, then you do it with your heart filled with intention. Because unless you are in there in the right state of mind, doing it for the right reasons, understanding exactly what it is that you're going to do, then it's not going to matter a damn thing. So don't waste your time if you're not prepared to do the work. If you're prepared to do the work, then these practices are ritual, and they can make your experience, you know, in a magical sense, or your experience with tarot, incredible. It can make things incredible for you, and you have these amazing moments, and you will always be bonded more to a deck that you've had an incredible ritual experience with. You always will. And so if you're up for it and you want to do it, then do it. Don't feel like you have to do it. It's not the be all and end all. It's something different. If you're looking to get something different out of your practice with tarot, then do it. If you're not into it, if it doesn't resonate, then there's no point in going there just because, like, it's not for you. It's simply not for you. You'll know that straight away. So.
True that. That's so true. There's a lot of stuff, and I think it's important for us to say things like this too. There's a lot of, I will even say like this, there's a lot of shit in the woo-woo world that does not resonate with me in the slightest. Like as a man, there are a lot of tarot decks, there are a lot of rituals, there are a lot of that are extremely, extremely divine feminine, and it does not resonate with me in the slightest. That doesn't mean that I don't believe or that I can't practice or that I can't. You just got to find the stuff that does resonate with you. And you know what? There are some days where all I want is me and a quartz, or me and a deck. I don't want all the fancy stuff. There are, most of the time I do want to paint my face, and I do want to chant, and I do want to start a fire, and I do want to put herbs in there, you know, but there are days that just the simple, delicious, lovely, amazing, the best things happen when it's just me and I'm in my space, you know, sitting, meditating on my friggin' blanket, you know. It just is the space that you're in.
That's it.
I would like for you to bring more
exactly
masculine stuff into the community, because
I'm trying.
I have seen, okay, well, recently I got to witness, I don't even know if I'm going to say this right, but the haka, is that how you say it?
Oh man, I have been a fan of the haka for years.
I have never seen it in my entire
life. You've never seen the haka?
Oh.
Recently, and I saw it and I was like, oh,
world.
God. It's shit like that that is divine masculine, and I'm like, that is fucking awesome. Like, where is that?
That is where I feel spirit. That is exactly in that moment where I'm like, that is spirit. That is 100% divine masculine fucking spirit dominating the shit out of this ritual. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. That's my stuff.
It's beautiful.
So I guess we have to explain the haka.
Oh yeah, so probably Lisa from the Tarot Alchemist could probably explain it the best. It's a Polynesian sort of, well, not sort of, it's Polynesian ritual. Yeah, if she wants to type some stuff on it, and I'll talk a little bit about it too. So, because I worked for a company called Les Mills, who is based out of New Zealand, and they are very. That's actually where my finding of Maui really started. Because they are very into their Polynesian culture, which is fantastic because it's a beautiful culture and they have beautiful rituals, and it is so ingrained into everything that they do. There's a greeting, kia ora, that they give each other, and there's the I just forgot. The touching of noses is a ritual for them, and it's called something, and the kia kaha, I believe. And then so the haka is sort of this tribal ritual dance, chant. And they have different versions, and the ones that I have seen have always been somebody, when they do this ritual, they're bringing somebody else into the tribe, like when a Polynesian woman marries a man, their whole family does this haka, and it's loud and it's beating of the chest and it's chanting and it's they sweat and they stomp and it's just, God, it's amazing. It's amazing. Go on YouTube after this is done. Don't do it now. But after this is done, go out on YouTube and just YouTube it. There's some great hakas out there.
YouTube the All Blacks and watch them do it at the footy.
Yes.
So just so you know, the haka is something that is done, obviously, a tremendous amount in New Zealand by the Maori people, not the Maori, the Maori.
Maori.
How to say it?
The Maori.
Maori.
I'm from friggin' Tennessee.
I live right next door to Maori people. A whole family of them. They drink so much. They drink so much. They introduced me to this Fijoa vodka that I thought it's the smoothest vodka you'll ever have. You feel like you're drinking nothing, and then the next day you don't wake up with a hangover, and that's their magic, you know. That's their magic.
Can't we all be like them?
Right.
We have a think of no hangovers. What?
It's true. Now I smell beer and I get a hangover.
Right. Somebody else drinks alcohol around me and I wake up the next morning like, oh, what is this pounding in my head? What is this? The gift of turning 30.
Oh my gosh. It's so true. It's so true.
So true.
So I guess that will wrap up most of our more superstitious aspects. There are many tarot superstitions out there, I think, and they are definitely, you know, cultural in context. Certain cultures will have specific, you know, superstitions. There will be a superstition out there that says the tarot is evil. There will be a superstition out there that says the tarot is fortune-telling material. And we know that it can be, but we know that not everybody uses tarot for those reasons. So there are all kinds of superstitions. Many are cultural in context. And so if you get any really cool ones, if you hear of any cool ones, like send them over to the Spread This Witch's Facebook page so we can have a little look at it, because it's just really interesting to find out how other people view tarot, use tarot, feel about tarot in general. And it just creates a deeper sense of awareness and connectedness with the art of tarot in general. So it's part of the nooks and cranny of the entire system of tarot, these superstitions, you know.
Do you sleep with your decks?
No. Why would I sleep with my decks?
The superstition.
Look, I hear people putting them under their pillows. Fuck, they would get all crumbled.
Mine.
But that's just not.
What?
That's unnecessary.
No.
I don't think it's that weird. I sleep with a deck every night.
Yeah.
Of course you don't.
In my
Of course
bed.
you don't.
Like not in my bed, but you know, like next to my bed every night I do like a drawing for myself, and it's like a card of my dreams, if you will. That sounds really stupid and cheesy, but you know, like I always have a deck on me.
Well, the superstition.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's fine. But actually putting them, I've heard of people where, as soon as she said it, I have heard of people going, I put my tarot deck in my pillow, under my pillow.
I couldn't
to sleep with it.
No, I couldn't do that.
Under my pillow. I'm like, yeah, okay, put the lumina under your pillow. It's like the princess and the pea, only you'll never have a great night's sleep. Like, what the fuck is that all about? Like,
yeah, that would not.
Hello, 400 GSM card stuff. Put them under your pillow, eh?
Well, the superstition that I've heard is that you have to sleep with a new deck for 3 days and 3 nights to bond with it, to get into it.
Nope.
I don't want to be indelicate when I say this, but that superstition can go and fuck itself, can't it? Because quite frankly, you don't treat your decks that way.
I saw a meme that said masturbation is the only thing that's not taxed, or I don't know, and it said, so you're free to go fuck yourself.
Wow.
It's a thing. No, but that's, like I said, there's tons and tons of them out there. But basically, I'm not going to compromise the sanctity, the safety, the aesthetic of my tarot deck for something like that. I would never put it. I value my sleep. I value it, and having a big lump of cards underneath my pillow is not going to help me sleep. It's not going to help me bond with my deck. It's going to help me get very irritated with it. And also, if I put it in the bed, I sleep with my husband next to me. He's bound to roll over it. At the end of the day, he's going to wake up, well, at the beginning of the morning, he's going to wake up and there's going to be a bent card. And how likely is he to leave that house with, you know, operational legs if he bends a tarot deck? Like, it's not likely. It's not likely for him to survive that.
Oh my God.
Well, you pay 70, 80, 100, 150 bucks for a tarot deck to then what? Put it under a pillow for 3 nights, interrupt your sleep, and basically, like, damage it. Because that's what will happen. Unless you sleep like this.
I know.
And not move ever in your sleep.
I know people that have.
It's comical.
I know people that have put their deck between the mattress and the box spring.
No, I'm not doing that either.
In the bag, of course, not like just the cards.
No. Wreck my deck, I'll wreck your deck. Wow.
Whoa, that is a
So
good
much hostility.
right there.
So angry.
Wow. So Anna asked about mixing, and I'm only bringing this up, well, A, because she asked, and I would like to talk about it, but what about mixing your decks with bodily fluids? Some people do it.
Okay, we're gonna have to clarify which.
Like sperm.
Sperm, spit, blood.
I think it's all
Menstrual blood.
bodily fluids. But the reason I'm thinking more blood, and I have done a ritual before where I mix a rune with a tarot card, and it involved pricking my thumb and putting that on the card. That's a deck that I don't have it anymore, but that was just part of the ritual. I've done that before, but nothing other than a prick of blood.
Yeah, but that was rune related, right? Runes love a bit of blood.
Rune,
they love it.
Yes,
Green blood, red blood, they love blood, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
just tarot on its own, I don't know. I've never really had to. Well, I don't have sperm, so that's out for me, unfortunately. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what more I can say about that. Blood, no, but I have collected, say, no, it's not bodily fluid. It's just like river water and stuff like that. I would use it. I have used river water with menstrual blood, and I've grabbed a dark silk and I've wrapped my tarot deck in that dark silk, and I've lightly spritzed the top of it. And I've done my thing, right? But it wasn't directly onto the cards.
Are you watching what he's doing? You said the words menstrual blood and acted like a 5-year-old. He's like, what?
Menstrual blood? Like period blood?
It's not anything that I have had the experience of using before in my lifetime.
Oh my God.
Yes, well, that's how I know.
Good Lord. Or never mind.
I don't know why you would have to piss on your decks, though. I'm not saying that to be comical. I'm saying that because, you know, urine is actually something that is used magically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've never
used in like hexes and stuff. Yeah, I've heard it being used in like hexes. I knew a woman who, getting away from an abusive husband, put a hex on him, put like a voodoo in a jar, and put like spit and piss and dirt.
Whoa.
But not concerning like decks, no.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Not concerning decks. I don't know too much bodily fluid. I do like the moon blood one though. Sorry, Chase. It's not nice for you to hear, but like the moon blood one, if you're a woman and you're connecting, like if you're using a deck that is primarily to be used for magical use and you're working with the energies of the moon, say you bring it out each full moon, that's your full moon reading deck, then that is something that I would recommend that you do. Like silk from silkworms, you know, the good stuff, and like wrap it up really dark blue, and then like river water as your menstrual blood, and then give it a little spritzies.
Okay, but I want to go back to
red, white, and black candles. Red, white, and black candles, jasmine flowers. Oh my gosh, I see a ritual. I could just like, I see the ritual. Let's all do the ritual.
Okay, but
I want to so lucky you don't live near me.
I want to address what he was talking about though. That jar that you just described, that's not necessarily a hex. I mean, it can be, but I've used that before.
It can be a come to me one.
No, I mean, it depends on your intent.
I'm sure it has lots of intentions, but that's that's what it was being used for when she was doing all that.
Well, I've used it. It works, and I'm not ashamed. That's my go the fuck away spell. That's my fuck your bad vibes.
Using tarot cards.
Jar magic. There's all kinds of jar magic. It's you can really go there. You can really go there with jars. Like, don't ever discount them. Like, save your jars, people. If you're the type of person that likes to buy lots of packaged stuff, then save your jars. There's a magical future for them.
I have tons of jars.
So like
Tons.
talking about honey jars. Yeah, honey jars are, that's, I don't know if I would ever do one. Would you do a honey jar? No? Yeah, I don't think I would either. Because then I'd have to do something to reverse that.
No.
Okay, what is it?
Really?
It's 9:30. So I say we take like a brief intermission. Chase needs to get a taco. I need to go to the bathroom.
I need to have a cup of tea.
Also, the
And
taco makeup, was that not fabulous that I sent you, by the way?
That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen ever. Like, why would you paint a taco on your fucking eyebrow? Like, I don't understand. Women in makeup, it just confuses the shit out of me. I don't understand.
you're like, why do I want to eat you?
No, I
It's
thought,
kinda like your eyebrow, just like,
no, it was, it was eye makeup that was like a taco, like on each eye.
like like, okay, here, okay, so here's what I don't understand. So why would you spend that much, like, they were pretty damn good drawn tacos. Why would you spend that much time on your makeup and make it look like a goddamn taco? You're gonna walk
Fancy
out in
dress
public
party.
with taco
Halloween,
Taco
fancy
Bros?
dress.
I don't understand.
I'm not sure.
I have,
I'm not sure. I'm not
I
sure.
don't understand.
okay,
Just,
so we're going to take a brief intermission and then we'll come back and read. What do you think?
Sounds
Get your
good to
questions
me.
ready. Get your questions
Yeah,
ready. I was going to say
and all
Bobby.
caps. All
So the
caps.
questions
But not yet.
manager can get them all.
Not yet. We'll be right back.
Well, I don't have any place to go, so I already ate. So how are you guys this evening? It is good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. We have right now, well, I don't know about right now. I know a little bit ago we had over 40 people in here, which I thought was awesome. Right now we're sitting at somewhere in the 30s, which is fantastic. Tacos. I know, tacos are amazing, and I wish I had some right now, but I don't. I'm so lost. So this convo is over. I'm pretty little. I'm so lost. So this convo is over. I'm a pretty little head. It's okay. So Allora showed me a picture of we're painting eyebrow makeup to look like tacos. Like their whole entire eyelid and eyebrow was just tacos. Yeah, stars and auras. Tired but glad I made it to my first live show. Welcome to your first live show. Welcome, welcome, welcome to FCW. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. I am just sitting here shuffling the deck. So I have to tell you guys. So I put on. I don't know if you guys can tell what the shirt is, but so. So this is my shirt for the day, and I thought I would have a little bit of humor. And so the deck that I'm going to be using is the Justice League Tarot. Of course, of course, of course. A little bit cheeky fun. Two vowels. Feels like a question about the cartomancer. How strict are we about the word professional? Wanted to ask before email. Wasting your arm set. We want a few years of experience because we want somebody who can competently talk about breaking down. We're going to be talking about everything, about archetypes, about divine masculine, about meanings of cards, breaking down the meanings through Kabbalah, through astrology, those kinds of things. So we do want other gentlemen who are well spoken and well versed in all of that. Just eternally welcome. Yeah. So I will be representing the Divine Masculine a little extra this evening with all of my Batman delicious Justice League-ness because you're never too old to love superheroes. And if you hear crunching in the background and the lapping of water, my dog's food bowl and water bowl is right on the other side. So that's just going to be something that you hear. Thank you guys again for making it. You guys make our lives Love having you guys here. Love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. If my dog walks around this way, I'm gonna pan on her. Do you have on pants? I do have on pants. Chase, have you heard bat metal? I have not. What is bat metal? Divine superhero energy. Yes. When she walks back around this way, I will. Well, she's got two options to run. She can run through the kitchen, or she can run through the little office nook. So if she runs about this way, then I'll grab her.
And yes, I just wanted to add, these days, these shows are the only time we get to see each other. So it's a lot of fun because now Chase and I are both in school, and so the three of us don't get a lot of time to communicate. So it's really nice.
We so busy though.
Mm-hmm.
I have been reading for 3 years. Will that be okay or no? My lights are flickering. That was awkward. Sorry. 3 years. Yeah. Just go ahead and again, just send me an email and apply anyway, and then we'll just see what happens.
And tonight, show you guys, I'm going to use the Prisma Visions Tarot. This one, this one's going to be interesting because ever since I got this one, it wants to be like Avalon's Sun and Moon for me. So I'm interested to see what it's going to do. But it's so pretty. Yes, it is amazeballs. Yes, yes it is. I love this deck, which is funny because this is not a deck that I would have normally been like, yes. And then I got it and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Well, my dog ran the other way, so she knew. She knew I was trying to nab her. She ran away from me.
Card? I don't have a clue. Honestly, wanted to know if it had strawberry card.
Oh, hey, what did I miss?
Oh shit.
That.
Okay, I don't know how this is gonna go. 2 cards just flew out of my deck, and they were for me. So this is gonna be interesting.
Laura, you need to come and visit me and clean up my magical room because I just opened the door to let some air in because it's hot. See that sunlight? That's a fully open door. And when I did, a whole stack of books fell over because they're on the floor.
Man, if I come and see you, you don't even know. Like, I'm coming with a fucking label maker and some binders, and we're gonna just organize the shit out of your space.
I'll tell you what, like, it's so messy in here at the moment. You don't even know. I need to spring clean.
I'll be like, don't touch anything. Look in these books. These catalogs will tell you where everything is. Where everything is. Consult these books.
Yay! That's my dream. Is to have someone do that for me. Not for me to do it myself.
I'm really good at organizing my stuff and my life, but as soon as somebody else is like, hey, organize my stuff, I'm like, no.
I used to be much better. Before I had children, I used to be much better. Now that I have children, I can't do anything from start to finish without, several interruptions. And it's really distracting. So when you're trying to have laser focus, which I think you do need when you're trying to reorganize, like genuinely organize a space, and you have to think methodically about it, to have small children run in on you or a husband that doesn't know where anything is and, ask you a million questions, it's like, you can't. I'm like, fuck it. I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it until you're all not here anymore, for a whole day and then try then. But of course, it takes more than a day. It takes several days for this.
Shit, it's going to take me a week.
I lie. It will. I forgot to tell you, which is totally unrelated, but so cool. I got a white Norwegian rabbit pelt just in time for spring. So I'm taking the cloth off my reading table and I'm putting down this beautiful rabbit pelt and I'm going to do readings on top of it. And it's going to be legendary.
That sounds pretty dope.
I'm pretty excited for. Oh, and I got a mastodon tooth.
Oh my God! Funny story from school. So here in Nashville, Tennessee, we have a hockey team, and they're called the Predators, and the saber-tooth cat is their mascot, and there was actually a saber-tooth skeleton that was found in the area. It was donated to the team. Or no, I'm sorry. It was donated to a bank back in the day, and then the bank donated it to the team. Well, guess what? They didn't really donate it to the team. Somebody stole it, and it's on somebody's mantle somewhere. And so now, like, the only saber-tooth skeleton that this state has had is gone.
Wow.
But that's like really common in archaeology. People just steal shit, and you're like, "What are you doing? Like, that's not cool."
It's a thing. It's a thing.
It is a thing.
It's really hot. I'm just gonna go fill up my water bottle because I'm not organized and I didn't do that in our break.
Joe, so I am not in Music City. I live about 30 minutes from Music City. Yes, that's where I go to partay if I ever want to, which isn't very often because I'm a homebody and I like being by myself. Thanks, bro. You're the best.
You were answering a question. I wanted you to have all the time you needed to answer your question.
Aw. See, this is why I miss your face.
Because I'm freaking amazing.
You are freaking amazing.
You're freaking amazing.
Oh, and I have school at 8 a.m.
Amazing.
Oh.
I have spin at 5:30.
Are we starting? Have we started?
Yeah, well, we were copy and pasting questions, but I think we've got some to go. So whenever you all are ready. So the first question. Oh, I can't even read this. Hold on.
The mystical cottage and tarot would lovable on my week ahead energy. Week ahead.
All right, week ahead.
All right.
Ooh, let's see. Maybe it's gonna be nice.
I'm using the Lumina Tarot in case anybody cares.
You're not using the sun and moon? What?
No, because she said I don't want to be predictable.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I don't want to be that person that uses the same deck all the time.
Who would want to be that?
Those people, you know, those really boring people that just use the same deck all the time.
Who would do that? I don't understand.
I know, it's horrible.
I don't know anybody like that.
None of us are using the.
I was running the risk of becoming one, so I had to amend my ways.
Oh, can't imagine that.
No, I was very conflicted there for a moment.
The decks that we normally use tonight. So yay.
What?
No, we're not. I usually use New Era Elements, and Chase usually uses RWS Old School, and you usually use Sun and Moon, and we're not using any of those tonight.
I know, isn't it amazing?
I still love you.
And I was forcing myself to use the ukiyo-e tarot, and then I actually put on clothes, and it happened to be the Batman shirt. So I was like, well, I guess I'll just make it a theme and just go with some Justice League Tarot.
Little and Fab, no, you did not fucking miss the dog. The dog did not come by.
No, she literally like darted. She knew. She's a smart dog. She knows when she's being talked about, and she darted. There's two ways out of here. You can go this way or you can go this way. And usually she goes this way, but she knew, so she darted away.
Okay, okay, so Jen, the new deck that we were using that's not out yet is New Era Elements. And actually we have a little bit of news on that that we didn't mention. That does not have a date yet, but it is progressing past where it was. And so now we're in the proof stage, where Ellie is approving the proofs that are coming to her. So yay, that's exciting. I mean,
so exciting.
It's so exciting. It is. It's so exciting. It's true.
I have a card already.
I have a card.
Me too.
I don't feel like I'm first.
Me neither.
No, I'm certainly not first.
Oh my God, you guys. Okay. Here's what I got.
No, wait. What have you got? Which cards have you got? What have you got?
What do you got? What is that?
Oh yeah, it's the Eight of Swords. I'm used to holding up like the traditional Rider-Waite. I'm like,
Eight of Swords. What have you got?
Two of Wands.
Allora? Two of Wands. You're a starter because I've got the Six of Cups. You're the start. You're the action card.
Okay. So this week, so that we have the Two of Wands, and the Wands suit is related to fire, creativity, passion, desire, will, drive, ambition. And the two is representative of choice. You have two very viable choices this week on where you can put your focus and your energy, particularly in either professional or creative pursuits. And neither one is better than the other. They're just different. So you really need to focus on what it is you want and decide what it is you want, and then put your drive, ambition, will into that. Chase, I think you're next.
So the Eight of Swords is telling you not to get stuck in the decision-making process. Don't, I'm going to repeat myself. Don't get stuck in that. It's really, really, really easy for us as human beings to be stuck in this inactive. There's options to choose. So instead of choosing something, we choose nothing because it's hard to choose something because we don't know what the outcome is going to be. So all the Eight of Swords is telling you is just don't get stuck in that. It's okay to choose something even if it's wrong, because if you just do happen to choose something that is incorrect, then that's a learning experience. So there's also a blessing that comes from that as well.
All right, all right. I've got the Six of Cups in the Lumina. It's a beautiful card, the Six of Cups. There's this element of nostalgia going on with the Six of Cups, and there's the potential for daydreaming. And so with the Two of Wands, you have the opportunity for action and you have choices to be made. With the Eight of Swords, you have that, you know, don't get stuck in that mindset, you know, and you've got this potential for daydreaming there as a way to distract you perhaps from your very purpose this week. And your very purpose is clearly the Two of Wands, which is all about action, which is all about making the decision, not about contemplating it, imagining it, daydreaming about the decision, but actually making it. And so don't get caught up in daydreams. There's also an element of, because this card is web, there's a lot of web energy. Webs for me are about narrative, long living, deeply rooted familial narrative. So don't get caught up in family complications and wayward gossip. The butterfly's here for friendship, and the beetles are here to remind you to have a bit of a hard shell. So yeah, I reckon it's going to be an okay-ish week. But I haven't seen anything amazing.
Avalon, keeping it real since 19. Okay, next question. What do we got? Then with gems, what do I need to make my main focus for September? Ooh, yeah.
I like these questions. They're open.
It seems like we have a lot of spiritual questions tonight. No soap opera questions.
The night is still early.
The night is young.
I just want to know if, who was it? Dolce stayed away from Hot guy.
Right?
Ooh. I already got my card.
I've got if somebody doesn't give a soap opera question, then I'm putting forth a soap opera question about sexy face and queen right now. That's what's happening. I'm gonna bring the soap opera. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring it.
Who are we talking about right now?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps the people that were fogging up the chat stream at the very start of this stream. Oh my god, I'm like, I'm hot. I'm hot from all the steam.
Well, you know, when it's hot.
Masculine.
You know.
Oh, I love her. That shit took me by surprise.
I've got my card. Have you got your card, sexy face?
No.
Sexy face. I can't even call him that. He's like my fucking brother. Like, that does not work for me.
Oh, it's said in jest. It's delicious when you do say it.
This is not Game of Thrones.
No, it is not. All right. Who's gone first? Have you got yours, Chase?
Sure do.
Who wants to go first? I could easy go first.
I went first last time.
You got. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Or I did. It's just a cunning
okay. You're right.
You are the quintessential little brother. Always trying to realize.
All right, you're right. Whatever. It's fine. Details, schmeetails. So I have the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is about a message coming, but it is also, particularly in this deck, this is about getting caught up in not knowing what the question was. I'm focused for September. So, this is I'm back. So mainly in this deck, this is talking about not getting caught up in yourself, not getting caught up in needing the victory messages to come to you to ensure that you're doing the right thing. So this is about a little bit of exploration and getting outside of yourself, and maybe a focus that I'm getting for you for September is a little bit of philanthropy work, something getting outside of yourself, and something that will benefit someone else. And that leaves a lot of options. That can be charity work, that can be walking somebody's dog, that can be, that can be a lot of things. There's a lot of implications. But get outside of yourself for September and help somebody else, and therein will lie in a lesson for you.
I need to go next because you got the Six of Wands and I got the Chariot card.
Ooh.
So that's double victory. That's a double victory. Exalted because I'm holding the trump here. For any project that leads to strong moving forward action. So don't invest your time in things that you're half and half about its yield. Oh, that could take a little bit of time. That could be a little something there. No, you want to invest your energy in that forward propulsion and making sure that you're balancing aspects of yourself accordingly, especially to suit the project at hand. So there's a positive and negative side, the black and the white side, the up and the down side of everything. Make sure that you're in a state of harmony each and every time you approach a project. Chase mentioned philanthropy, donating your time and your energy to a project, definitely. But make sure that you have something that you can steam roll on the side as well, so that you're balancing both of those aspects. One is charity, the other is it's for you. It's all for you. So make sure that you've got both of those things going on at once and balancing them well and investing a certain amount of time in both equally, because there's a certain amount of victory heading your way.
All right, now wrap. So my card is the Sun. So taking into
That's just
I know.
Congratulations then with Jem. Congratulations. That's perfect. That's perfect.
So, but what I wanted to say is, keeping in mind what Chase and Avalon have said, This feels like, okay, I'm going to need you to stop riffle shuffling for a minute. Thank you. Oh my God, do not look at me in that tone of voice. But I feel like with the Chariot and with the Six of Wands, the Sun is a card that everything is going to turn out well if you follow the advice of the previous two cards. But also keep in mind along this journey that you have to be in a state of gratitude. You might feel like you're giving all of your time and energy to, and as Avalon indicated, probably 2 projects. And so you're going to be spread a little bit thin, but just know that the work that you're doing is warranted, needed, and worthwhile. And just remain in a state of gratitude, and everything is going to pan out just fine. Much joy, abundance, all that good stuff, because the sun shines and things grow, and that's another theme for the month is growth. So yeah, it's going to be an all-around good month for you, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, next question. Question master.
Question master.
Joe, what is the next action step or type of approach for spiritual development? Okay, so basically, what is the next action step or approach he needs to take for his spiritual development?
Say that again. What? I am here and I am paying attention.
Oh my God. What is the next step he needs to take for his spiritual development?
Who's he?
Joe.
Joe. What is your next action or step or approach for spiritual development? What is that? Like, that's a
What is it? I mean, what is it? What is it? Like, what is it really? What approach? What step?
What is it? Right? What is it?
What is it? Like, it's just a what is question.
What is?
It's what is.
What is?
And
what is it?
Like, what is?
I'm about to meet their.
What is it? Oh.
That's quite the reaction.
Why do you have a maniacal laugh?
Reverse devil, that's why. It fell out upright. It fell out, like, it fell out and reversed because it was upright. The deck is set for upright. The Lumina is because it's been.
But I don't think you're
been reset. No, I can't be the first one. I'm just the most important one.
We know.
Reverse devil. Hot diggity damn.
Do you have a card yet or no?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it? I think I'm first.
The Empress.
Yeah, I'm first.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the next step you need to take? Okay, so my card is the Page of Pentacles. So Pentacles is the suit of Earth, and it is the slowest moving suit in the deck, which is interesting because Pentacles is also, well, for me, it's associated with winter time, and we are getting ready to go into winter in the Northern Hemisphere. And for you, this is indicative of each of the pages, at least the way that I look at them, they are all students. And the Page of Pentacles is probably the hardest working of the student archetypes, and they are not necessarily, so the Page of Swords would be the super intellectual student, but the Page of Pentacles, the one that puts in the time and the energy and the hours studying and things like that. So with this page showing up, I would say that your next step needs to really be to put in the time and energy into your path and really gather resources, because Pentacles talks about resources. And so we're talking about books, we're talking about anything material, whether it's whatever you're interested in at this point, whichever direction your path is leading you. And also really digging into, because it's Pentacles, I would say Earth. So whether it's herbs or crystals or something like that, anything tied to the earth. And I think, Chase, you're next.
For sure. Okay, so we're talking earthy, right? And so we're looking at this Empress, like, it is poison ivy. So she's very into the earth. She can't get any more grounded than poison ivy. She's also a little bit crazy, but we'll ignore that part for now. So the Empress is about putting in work. Exactly what Allora was saying. The Empress is all about long nights and effort that pays off. It's not fruitless effort. It is effort because there is something good waiting for you. So I agree wholeheartedly that it is something that is super grounding, and it is something that is going to take work, but it will be fruitful for you in the end.
Okay, I'm going to wrap this one up. And let me just say that everything that I'm about to say is said with love. Okay?
All right, here goes.
And
here it goes. Okay, so both cards that have been pulled have been essentially about doing the work, actually committing to the work. And the reverse devil is telling me a little bit at this moment that you might have been caught up in codependent spirituality, whereby you believe that any one action or technique is actually going to be the thing for you and help you, you know, to elevate your vibration and be all that you can be in one foul swoop, right? And this is a common misconception that positive intention is all that you need when it comes to spirituality. But really, at the end of the day, it's more about mental processes. It's actually about doing the work, the actual physical work. It's about getting the sleep. It's about journaling when you need to, eating properly. It's, you know, meditating with the crystal, dedicating time, creating space, you know, actually doing it all, not just one facet of it, all of it, all together, all of the time. Now, the reverse devil, it tells me that you might have been under a misconception that, you know, this is exactly what was needed. And it's telling me about a raising of awareness right now, that there is more to this story. There is more that you could be contributing, essentially, by opening up your eyes and really recognizing your position in the situation and making sure that you're actually doing what you're supposed to be doing at the moment, which is, you know, it's about doing the work, like literally doing the work. Daily practice. Are you doing any kind of daily practice? Are you doing anything that really asserts your commitment to your spirituality at this moment in time? So basically, it's all about doing the work. And sorry if this was heavy-handed. So
put down the chips, get off the couch, go light a candle. That was the basis. I'm just kidding. But Joe's like, I think you're friends with me on Facebook, so we're cool like that. I can say that. Oh, too funny. Okay, next. Who we got? Tiger's Abyss. I'm finishing my Marielle video series. Where should I go now with my channel? Interesting. Hey, actually, Tiger's Abyss, did you have like a question? I don't know if this was like a month or two ago. Were you the one that restarted your channel? Maybe I'm confusing it, but I thought you were the one that asked us to pull for that.
I don't think he ever I could be wrong. I don't think that was him, though. I don't think he's ever taken a break.
No, I don't think that was him. I know who you're talking about. No, I don't know who you're talking about. I remember the question, but I don't think it was this person.
Man.
Okay, so I'm finishing my Marielle video series. Where should I go with my channel? Where should you go? Where should you go? Where should you go? Where should he go? He or she. Where should they go?
Okay, well, I had 3 like fly out, so I don't.
Oh, you want to take it all? You want to do the whole thing? Okay.
No. What do you do? No. Pick your cards back up.
No, you got 3. We're not
right? You just covered it all. Go for it.
No.
Yeah.
She said no. No.
Why are you being mean to me?
You got 3 cards. They flew out of your deck.
Yep.
We pulled 3 cards each. You've got all 3 now. You don't need us.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We'll just sit back and chill.
And marvel at your skills. And poke fun at you where necessary.
And we can be like backup sound effects. We'd be like, ooh.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, fine.
And the crowd roars.
Why mean to the Virgo. You guys are not nice. Okay, so the first card that came, they're all, well, no. There's two that are swords and one that is wands. So,
ooh, swords. Wow.
hang on just 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna mute. I muted them both.
I don't accept. I don't accept.
They forget I have the control.
We got control too.
And I can just do it back.
So rude. So rude.
Nice.
Okay. All right. I'm just kidding. Okay, so the first card that came out was the Page of Swords. So I think this is in reference to your Marielle series and coming pretty quick with it and being very intellectual with it and studying it from a mental perspective, if that makes sense. Really diving into the Marielle Tarot as far as the psychology of the artwork, if that makes sense. I don't even know what I'm saying right now, so just go with it. Because that's what I'm like hearing and stuff. So I think that was your Marielle series. The next card that came up, Eight of Wands. So this is an adventure. This is new journeys, new travels, new growth, going in a different direction. And interestingly enough, the next card that came up, I think answers your question about where you need to go with this, with your channel. All right, I'm going to try to do this as sweetly as possible. So this is the Three of Swords. So this is telling me that you need to do a series or a whatever videos about either shadow work or anything that is darker in nature, that dives down into your personal experience of anything that is emotionally bothersome or that you've gone through that other people can benefit from, because the Three of Swords represents heartbreak and turmoil and trauma and discontent and things like that. So I would say dive into that. Okay, I'm gonna need applause now.
I pulled an oracle card as well because I just wanted to, and it said community. So I would like to say that in keeping with everything that Allora said, I think that you need to involve community in this. So it could be a tag, it could be creating a tag, it could be creating something interactive whereby, you know, other channels, you know, will do responses or contribute or collaborate or do a vlog hop or something along those lines. So if you want to see something like that in action, Kellyanne Maddox is doing her, you know, Self-Love September. And at this time of the year, she does the Self-Love September. I think this is her 3rd year of doing it. And, you know, channels all over the place erupt with self-love stuff because it's contagious. It's that big, it's contagious. So you need to do something aligned with that.
Yay!
Woo! Should have got my drum.
Okay.
Cool.
Hold on. We already got that one. I don't know how you pronounce that.
Huh?
Take a stab. It's Chase's comment.
Tybalt Blanchard?
Yeah.
What is holding me back from taking a new step in my life?
Oh Lord!
I don't
Let
think
me have it.
for the joy.
I think my deck is too happy for this question.
I think my deck is just about right. Little fun fact about the Lumina Tarot, it's my Victoria's Secret deck because I don't know if you've noticed, but there's some very sexy people in this deck. Oh Lord. Can I start?
Please.
Yeah.
I got the death card.
Yes.
Okay, so what's holding you back from taking a new step in your life is that you're refusing to detach from old fragments of your life that no longer serve your best interest. This could mean that you're inevitably being naive about what you're eating, the company that you keep, the practices that you're engaged in. Basically, you need to do a kind of an overall holistic look at what you've got functioning in your life at this very moment in time and figure out with some kind of self-honesty and clarity what is no longer serving you. And if it comes up that it's actually something that's really close to home, a really good friend, a family member or something like that, you need to be prepared to do what you've got to do for your best interest, for your spiritual health, for your safety, for your evolution, for your authentic self. So basically disconnecting from that which no longer serves your best interest, putting things to bed, not rehashing old chapters in your life, not clinging on for dear life to things that are no longer working for you. Just put it to bed, son. Just do it. Just get it done.
She said son.
So I have to follow that up. I have to. So literally everything that Avalon was describing are in the cards that
I'm sorry, did you have multiple cards? Good. I don't have to read.
No. So the Lover's card is a card that I pulled, and then I needed a little bit of clarification. So what I do for clarification is that I pull the cards that are around it. And so the card that was around, the cards that were around it was the Ten of Pentacles. So this is like the ultimate goal, right? And so the other card that was in the front of it was the Seven of Pentacles. And so let's talk about this card specifically, not necessarily a traditional Seven of Pentacles meaning. So in this card, we see Deathstroke, and then we see Terra. Terra happens to be Deathstroke's
Queen?
No, daughter. So we see in this card, like, he is pulling her strings and like controlling her in this way. So I feel like this is a very, and with the Lover's card next to it, I feel like this is a very familial kind of, it doesn't necessarily come to me as a paternal energy. Maybe it does. Maybe there's something in your family that is holding you back. I'm getting a very super strong message of family. Figure out what is, being stuck in your family space and clear that out, and then you'll be able to move on.
Okay. My turn, huh?
Yes.
So the Page of Pentacles popped out again, but this time reversed. So the message that I'm getting from this card for you is that this has to do with being stripped of resources that you once had that you now no longer have, which totally goes along with what Avalon and Chase were talking about earlier, about being unable to detach yourself. Chase, with the familial connection, this could be resources that you were used to getting from your family, or a close connection, very close friend, what have you. But when we talk about resources, they're not only materialistic, but it's things like support and people that will advocate for you and things like that. And I also feel like with the Page of Pentacles reversed, you are closed off, because the Page of Pentacles is a card of fertility, the beginning of fertility, really starting to learn what it means to cultivate things for yourself and manifest things for yourself in the physical realm. And I feel like you have closed yourself off too in the process of losing the resources you once had. It's kind of like a, okay, fine, peace out. I don't care. And now you're completely shut off. So that is my card as far as what's holding you back. So I would recommend that you try not to focus on what has been taken from you and focus on yourself. And again, it's Self-Love September, so that's probably a really good exercise for you to engage in right now. Yay!
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well done, team. Well done.
She said, "Well done, team." This sucks. We can't like high five. Damn. High five.
Self five.
Man, you're good. Okay.
All right, we've got Lynn Soriano. Next, should I start mediumship through tarot readings and automatic writing? Will it help me develop further? Okay, so she's essentially asking, should she use tarot to kick off her mediumship abilities or to exercise her mediumship abilities?
You know, sometimes that just happens. Like,
it's a thing, isn't it?
Yeah. You're riffle shuffling, aren't you? And you muted the mic. I love you.
It did. Sure was. Had to have a little reset.
That's very considerate. That's
Isn't
very
it?
considerate.
Because I have 2 riffle haters over here, so
Hate's a strong word, but
I have to go into my riffle
despise is a
closet
better
in order to
word.
shuffle my cards.
It is a pleasure to shuffle a deck that has very nice cardstock, good matte finish where the cards slide, where there's no stickiness. Just really, cardstock is important. It is.
I concur.
Alrighty. Is it party time?
It's so potty time.
Ooh.
Hands off, dance off. What?
I would like to go first.
Well, then
You
go first.
May I? Thank you. Thank you, sirs, madams and sirs. Everything I say today is going to have a harsh edge. It's said with love.
Uh-huh, yeah.
I got the strength card, Lynn. And so it is with love that I say to you that you don't need to use tarot as a crutch to exercise your mediumship abilities. If you are a medium, you don't necessarily have to do that through tarot. You need to find the strength and the inner confidence to sit down at a table before another person or before a camera, depending how you like you're going to do these things, and just simply do them. And it could mean feeling very exposed. It could mean, you know, putting a lot of yourself out there for judgment, and you might be very concerned about that. And so for many people, it's very easy to utilize the tarot as a means through which to help disguise your mediumship abilities. But strength is telling you to just, you know, to harness that willpower that you have and that ability to, you know, to cope with the potential judgment, because it hasn't happened yet, the potential judgment, and really stand in your power as a medium, doing mediumship readings, not necessarily infusing them with tarot. So if you're wanting to use tarot as a cover for your mediumship, I would definitely say no, don't do that. You know, just stand in your power and work as a medium. Offer 2 kinds of services: tarot services, mediumship services, automatic writing services. There are multiple services. They don't need to be rolled all together. You just need to have enough confidence and strength of will in yourself to achieve that which you want. So that's mine. I'm out of tea.
Oh, what a crisis. Oh, man, that sucks. Like when you look at this
I needed a libation after that.
Right? So what I have done is to answer yes or no questions. What I like to do is I like to pull the sun and the moon out of my deck that I'm using and read with those. And so the card that I drew from those 2 is the moon. So the moon is my no card and the sun is my yes card. So the moon is telling you, no, you don't need it. Next.
Yay!
And to go along with the theme in the room, apparently I like full penetration because I'm pulling a lot of reverse cards tonight. So the 2 of Cups came up. And so this is another card. So the 2 of Cups upright talks about synergy and perfect balance in a relationship and things that symbiotically feed off of each other. And when it's reversed, we're going to talk about the fact that tarot and mediumship are not inextricably linked, and you don't need one to do the other. And I would say that that's where Avalon's card of strength comes into play. You need to cultivate your confidence and your judgment and get out there and just do it like Nike. I mean, that's the only way that you're going to be able to do mediumship by itself. And I think that, and I don't know why, I mean, I don't know why I'm about to say this, but I think that you're a pretty strong medium. And you need to believe in yourself, because mediumship does come through card reading. It does for me. I don't always recognize that it's mediumship, and I like to say that it's not. But for those of us who aren't particularly strong in mediumship, we will get those type of messages through cards. But I feel like you're somebody who, that is a whole separate gift in of itself, and you need to start using it. Ta-da!
The answer is no.
The answer is all across the board. No.
Yeah, that's a hard no.
Okay. Okay, you need a what now? You said you need what?
Huh?
You're out of what over there?
I said that's a hard no.
No, I'm talking about your tea or whatever.
Oh, I was out of tea. I'm out of tea. I've run out.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm like, can you get more? That's like what I'm thinking in my head.
Oh, I was going to, but then I've already had one break, and it takes a long time to make a cup of tea because I like my tea bag to sit in the cup of tea for like 5 minutes.
Quality tea
Okay.
takes a minute.
While you drink it.
Huh?
What do you mean, huh? That's what I do.
What?
I just leave it, yeah. I just leave the tea bag in the cup and drink it.
That is so archaic. No. I want to have a nice cup of tea, not with a bag flapping around making a mess. No, it steeps for 5 minutes. You take it out, you put it away, and you have a nice, clean cup of tea to drink out of. None of this dangly, dangly stuff hanging off it.
Well, down here,
Sakes.
oh, you're lucky we go to the bathroom indoors and know what toilet paper is.
I can even take tea knowledge one step further, and there are teas that need to steep below boiling and at boiling.
Yeah. It's true. It's a thing.
It is. It is.
Okay, so next question. Wait. Actually, let's back up. Alex from, hold on. Let me see.
Wonder Weirdness and Witchcraft.
Yeah, he wanted a general reading, and we didn't catch it.
You wanted a general reading?
Yeah, and we didn't
Is
catch
he still here? Is Mr. Alex still here? I didn't even see him there.
it. Please
Alex.
digitally raise your hand.
Alex? Oh, hang on. Wonder Weirdness and Witchcraft.
It is not blasphemy. I like the tea bag to stay in my tea because I feel like I get more of the medicinal properties that way. Damn it.
Uh-huh, yeah. What I heard is, I'm an ogre. That's what I heard.
What are you saying? You know what? Gosh damn it. It is my birthday month, and I'm going to need you to be nice to me.
Oh, it is your birthday month. It's my sister's birthday month too. I almost retract that statement. That's as good as you're going to get today.
Yay! Okay, yeah, he's here still. He's here.
He's still here? Did you say he's still here?
Yes.
Woohoo!
Okay, I already got my card.
All right. You go first then, if you got your card.
Okay, sure. So I got the 9 of Wands. Yay. Wait a minute, I can hear.
Nice.
Why can I hear myself?
Because you're talking, and you should probably always be able to hear yourself when you talk. I feel like that's healthy.
I feel
I'm
like
going to go with you're not deaf.
Yeah, right? I feel like that's like an affirmation of good health.
Anyways, so Nine of Wands, I would say that this card is talking about the fact that hang in there, it's almost over, whatever it is that you're climbing uphill against, or not. I don't want to use the word struggle because I don't feel like it's that. I just feel like you have a lot on your plate and you're getting a little bit weary, but hang in there because it's all worth it in the end. And you are working on a lot of creative projects that are going to be amazing. So just keep at it and it's going to pay off. Anybody else? Any other one of you smart mouths?
So I have drawn the Eight of Pentacles. And basically what the Eight of Pentacles is saying is that you need to find a Batgirl costume and a rope and swing through your city and just leave all your problems, leave all your problems behind and just swing through your city in your favorite Batgirl costume and everything will be A-okay.
All I heard was Batgirl costume, rope, and my mind went all kinds of places.
What? What? Do not ruin Batgirl for me. She is innocent. She is innocent.
I'm sorry. Did you see Halle Berry as Batwoman or whatever? Yeah, Catwoman.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
she
you.
was anything but innocent.
She was also anything but good.
In black latex.
She was awful.
Black latex.
Catwoman, awful. So it depends. I agree with what Allora was saying. A lot of work, and it's okay to be busy, but just don't get overwhelmed and just know that you are absolutely capable of doing anything that you want to do. The Magician says so. Constantine said so.
Well, the King of Swords says, in order to help to recalibrate, find your balance, and do the aforementioned, you might want to find some wise counsel in someone who demonstrates the attributes of the King of Swords. So someone who has a really good grasp on your particular situation and who is prepared to give you some kind of wise counsel. This has to be something that is, oh my God, because I know something about you, it makes sense. I'm just going to say one word. Odin. Where was my echo? Who's the sound guy? I'll say it again. Odin.
Odin.
What the hell? We're ridiculous.
I think you need to go to your All-Father, dude. I think you need to go and start doing some good, solid, magical workings. Something that was... Who had the Eight of Pentacles?
I did.
Terebra.
I did.
What did you have, Allora?
I had the Nine of Wands.
Nine of Wands, Nine of Wands. Something that's resource-based. Oh, and Nine of Wands. You might have to make the sacrifice. Just saying. Just saying.
Don't sacrifice the Batgirl costume.
Or do.
Don't. No.
Don't ever. Okay, one more. Yeah, and then we'll wrap it up for tonight.
Yep, sounds good to me, so I can go to bed.
Alrighty. So last question.
Wilder. Is it Wilder woman?
Wild
Or woman.
woman.
Cleverly spelled as woman.
There's a lady up at the range in Coranda. She is wise. Woman.
She says, should I postpone launching my immersion program next month?
Should you indeed? Should you? Should you?
Ooh.
What you got?
I have another reversed card because
Oh, joy.
because.
Well, you can't open with that. What have you got, Chase?
I have the yes card.
Really?
I do. I knew that you were gonna have the opposite. I knew you were.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
hers could be a things to consider. It could be a things to consider. I'm in the middle then because I got justice for equilibrium. So the answer to your question is very much, balancing on a knife's edge at the moment. So there's something definitely to consider, which I'm quite confident is sitting in front of Allora. So there's a yes, but things to consider very carefully. It's important to remember that doing the work is essential. I'm a big fan of do the work, right? So do the work, consider the next step, and then figure out, how that's going to go for you. Allora.
Okay, so I got the Page of Wands upside down this time. And with this card, I would say, so again, for Wands for me represents ambition, will, drive, creativity, passion, all of those things. The Page of Wands is very much the court card that begins the action into motion, if that makes sense. And kind of the Knight of Wands blazes a new trail. The Page of Wands starts the fire. So I would say, oh, hang on. My computer's about to make like 3 noises. Hold on. There's 2. Come on. Ah, there's the 3rd one. Sorry.
Perfect.
Anyways, so the Page of Wands is the one that lights the fire, essentially, to new creative pursuits, new business ventures, new things, new hobbies that you pick up. Like that. What?
I like how you said the Page of Wands is the one to light the fire. That's nice.
Yeah. Yay! See, folks, this is why I love them, because they tease me mercilessly, and then they follow that up with a compliment.
That's true.
Sour Patch.
She is a wise skilled master.
Sour Patch Kids.
I know, we all are. So I would say pay attention to, do you have all of your ducks in a row? Creatively, does it look like you want it to look? I would also caution you to, how do I put this? Keep the fire on like simmer. Like, don't just throw a bunch of gasoline on a pile of stuff and let it be engulfed in flames that you can't control. Don't make this immersion program something that you allow an unlimited number of people to sign up for, because it's going to be demanding of your drive and your ambition and your will. And just keep those things in mind. And then if you do that, Chase.
Yes.
And if you do that, it's a yes.
Yes.
It's a yes. Not just a yes, but a yes with a baby sitting on the back of a horse. All right, kids. So we're at that mark now. I just have a quick one for you guys. Do you want to pull a quick card for the full moon? Yeah. We've got a full moon tomorrow my time.
Full moon in Pisces. That's my moon.
Okay, I'm getting sun and moon for this. Hello, baby. Hello, Nush.
I say that that's
so different,
moon, but I'm 1 degree. I'm 1 degree in all 3 of my main signs from the next thing. I have an identity crisis.
You know exactly who you are, blue-haired girl.
Blue-haired girl? Damn it! My hair looks good. Could you not for me?
I love it. I legitimately love it. It suits you like so much. Like, never change it.
I have had more compliments on my hair this way than any other way in my life. Like, people
That is because it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, people at school are like, hey, your hair, I love it. You don't change it. I'm like, what? Who are you? Like, I don't even know you.
Hey, Chase,
Yeah.
is your hat, is it a flat brim or does it have a peak? It's a flat brim, isn't it?
Yes, it is a flat brim.
Right. I've always been curious. Ah.
Oh, aren't you cute?
Just prash.
You're one of them boys, are you? I get it. I get it now. I know everything I need to know about you.
Judge away. Judge if you must. Bro runs through my veins.
Country ghetto. Country ghetto. Okay, my card is like in the middle, I think, so I'm pretty sure.
All right.
What do you have?
Shall I begin?
Got a good one.
I do too. I have a
really good one.
love this card. I love this card so very much.
Why am I
Go
always
first
the
then.
news?
So I have the Five of Pentacles, and so let's talk about the Five of Pentacles in terms of Swamp Thing. So Swamp Thing in this card, I keep setting it down and then holding it back up. So what the drawback of Swamp Thing is that he is stuck in this ethereal body. He doesn't have an actual body, and what that is making him do is it is slowly making him forget who he is. And so if you see him if you see what he's doing at the bottom of this swamp lake here, is that he's writing his name, or the first letter of his name, trying to keep remembering who he is. He's in this constant battle of maintaining that he is Dr. Alex. He is Dr. Alex. And so so basically what this card is telling me is that this is going to be a time of energy to get back to you, to remind yourself of who you are and what you're capable of and where you came from, and drawing back with you. Forget about all the external stuff that is keeping you from you. It's time to just love you. And this goes right along with self-love September. That's just the energy that is should be around you. Don't forget you. Love you.
Nice. That's nice. It's really nice.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Okay, what do you have?
I think I should be last.
Okay. So the card that I drew was the Ten of Wands. And so this card brings the message of this full moon coming up. You need to put down let go of some shit because you're overburdening yourself with things that are unnecessary and draining of your energy. So in order to reap the benefits of being emotionally in a place where you can look forward to things that are left or things that are coming in, you have to put down some old stuff, or else there is no room. And especially with the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is definitely a card of being overburdened and carrying too many responsibilities, and 9 times out of 10, they're unnecessary. Whether it's taking on extra hours at work to impress a boss, or, running here, there, and everywhere because you refuse to ask for help with your children's activities or what have you. So that would be my advice for this full moon.
That's good. I got the King of Pentacles. And so as a focus, as a means of focus primarily, I would definitely look at working some rituals, some magic for the area of resources, keeping in mind that Five of Pentacles and what Chase has said. The Five of Pentacles throughout most of the suits have an element of lack or conflict to them. And so when things are in conflict, it's time to squash a demon for that, hence your 10 of Swords, and start to work that magic. The one thing that I love about the suit of Pentacles is that they're active cards. They're doing cards. They're a verb. You have to do it. You have to do that work, right? Pentacles is about resources, physical, material resources. The only way that you can get your hands on resources is if you are actively doing so. You're seeking to do so. So if you're looking to amend anything in your life for this coming lunar cycle, or for a whole, you know, year's worth of lunar cycles, then think big in the area of resources and really work magic towards that, that resources. Do an accounting on what you've got going on at the moment, where you need to, you know, what gaps need filling, what needs the loose ends that need tying up, and really bring it all, you know, together with the energy of the 10 of Pentacles, and just, you know, work some nice earthy magic.
Hold on.
Earth magic.
I got something to say after you said that, because you just made me something off the top of my head. So with you talking about resources, I got the 10 of Wands, and I would probably say too, because 10s represent the completion of one cycle and the beginning of another cycle. So whatever you've been doing, like whether it's a side job or it's a creative pursuit, or even in your regular daytime job, there's like projects that are coming to a close, and there are new projects and new things that will bring you the resources in Avalon's card. So pay attention to that too.
True story. Oh, and your oracle, the oracle card for the full moon is Find Your Sacred Flow. Remember what I was saying about moon blood?
I don't remember that at all. I don't remember that conversation in the slightest.
All right, well, that's us done. Enjoy your full moon wherever you are. Enjoy it. Relish in its energy. You know, cleanse, charge, empower, do your magical workings. Put some decks out to absorb that moonlight. Put some of your favorite crystals that you like to pair with some of your favorite decks out, you know, to charge in the moonlight, and really just have a lot of fun with it, because it's a Pisces moon. Hydration. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And maybe drink a tea that makes you fly.
You want to say something to people, Chase?
Yes, you know that I am always happy to be a part of this and to get to interact with you guys. And, you know, as Allora was saying earlier, this really is, now that we are in our fall flow of things, not to use the word flow again, but we are all enough in our space and doing our own things, and we're very busy. So this is the only time we ever get to like hang out with each other, and this is, you know, our biggest time to hang out with you guys. And so I love you guys very much, both my tarot siblings, my soul siblings, and you guys. I love you guys immensely, yes. And you know that I'm always sending loving energy to you. And just like I was talking about before, please do don't forget to send out your fingers out and try and find some tarot bros and send them my way. Again, have them apply at my email at 2ofowls@gmail.com. Love you guys.
And wrap it up with saying, in 2 weeks, we have the STW Community Awards. Like I said, we had over 227 ballots that were cast. We have some amazing prizes to give away. We have tons of decks, vloggers, artists, authors that have all been nominated for these awards. And I encourage everybody to come out, because it's going to be fucking awesome. We have some great special guests who are joining us for this occasion. So mark it on your calendars, September 18th/19th if you're in Australia, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time or 11:30 a.m. Queensland time. I don't know what your time zones are over there, so I just say Queensland time. But yeah, that's it. Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, hang on.
So,
no. Yeah, that's right.
What is it?
I don't know. Sometimes
right.
we have daylight savings, but we're not affected by daylight savings because we live in Queensland, the best state in Australia. And yeah.
Yeah. So mark that on your calendar. We will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We had a bunch of fun, and we will see you next time. Much love. Bye.